Hello everybody, Tom here from the Company Code. I hope you're all well. Guys, today I'm going to discuss, it's kind of a bit of a grim subject matter, so apologies in advance, but I feel the need to talk about it, alright? The cost of living. I don't know how it is in your part of the world, but here in the UK, here in England, it's getting out of hand. Really it is. I say this because it just seems that year upon year the working man is getting absolutely battered by those in charge. Everything's becoming unsustainable. I've spoken about sustainability many times on my channel before. You can look back at previous videos and I come to the same conclusion every time. There doesn't seem to be any idea or plan for the future. There is no plan. It's like years and years and years ago, there was never any forethought about how things would be 20, 30, 40 years into the future. Now, I appreciate perhaps they could not project the amount of people we would have in terms of birth rates and the fact that we're living longer. However, it's like we just stuck our head in the sand and now we're paying for it big style. As I've discussed recently, energy prices are going through the roof. It is ridiculous how much money we're having to pay just to heat our house. We are literally, the government or the powers that be are literally allowing or giving people a choice here. It's either you heat with a H or you eat with an E. You can't do either. That means that's devastating for families who are already pushed to the limit with their budgets. They're going to literally be either freezing cold or hungry. How's that right? It's not. I really am disgusted at just how far this is going. I mean, that is the tip of the iceberg. You look at what's happened with the pandemic as well, with shortages in certain supply chains, in stuff. And we are seeing sort of similarities to what we had in World War II with rationing. That's how bad things are going to possibly get. It's the year 2022. What the hell's going on? Well, the fact of the matter is, there's too many people in the world. And I don't mean that in as naysayer or grim death sort of way. There generally is far too many people. So we have to find a solution, whether that be everybody becoming more sustainable for the short term, and the long term is that we as a human race have to populate another planet. And I think within the next 20, 30 years we should be looking to populate Mars. Now, some would say that sounds like something out of a science fiction film, Tom. How the hell are we going to do that? We've got to. We simply have to do something. It's getting well out of hand now. What's another 20, 30 years going to bring? I don't think. Really, I do. I look at the generation of children that are being born and I think they're going to go without. Alright, it might make them appreciate the things they have, which in a way is not a bad thing. But equally, poverty across the world, it's not good. It's not good at all. We should be able to do something about it. We have to do something about it. You know, I'll happily campaign anything environmental or sustainable to try and make the powers that be see that we need to do something. We really do. We cannot just sit on this and hope it'll go away, because it's not going to. It's only going to get worse. You know, fuel, food, heating, electricity, that's the tip of the iceberg as to just how bad things could get. We are literally sleepwalking ourselves into a disaster with no idea or solution out of it. I'll try and keep a positive vibe on this channel. I'm not about doom, I'm not about naysaying. I want to believe and trust that we will find a solution. We simply have to. There's no getting out of it, let's be honest, there really isn't. We have to find a way so that we can share this planet and all live decently. and it's tricky and it's difficult. And as I said, I think short term we need to all become more sustainable in the way that we live. That will free up some resources, and then long term we must look to populate Mars. Population of the Earth is sitting around 8 billion people. In 10 years it could be best to 10 or maybe even 12, who knows. At the end of the day, it isn't going to stop. I mean, we've had a pandemic. Yes, it's killed many people, but due to the medical technology and advancements we have, we've managed to stop it being a complete wipeout, and that's prolonged the birth rate's gone down, but that's stopped it being like a complete loss. So it really is now a chance of trying to find a way, whatever way that may be, but there has to be, because you can't keep kicking the people at the bottom of the chain, the good, honest, hard-working people, working class people, and expect them to just take it, because they won't. You're going to see very, very troubled situations occurring soon across the world if this doesn't stop. And no amount of authority or government will hold it back forever. It will overspill into anarchy. It's scary, but that's how it could get. We need to stop it before it gets to that, and do something now. Not next week, not in 2 years' time, now. I really, really generally hope we can make a better world for our children, because we look at what's happened the last 2 years and you just think, you know, as I said, I'm always trying to put a positive spin on it. I believe that we will get through it. We've got to. But simply the cost of living has to be reflected in wages. There has to be a living wage to allow for that cost. You know, in certain parts of the UK we have higher wages to cope with the expense of living in an area. That needs to be employed across the whole country now because of the cost of things. London has always been better paid than any other part of the country, because to live in London costs a fortune. With this being kind of like a universal thing across the whole country, then we need to employ a very, very solid living wage. Not something you can just scrape by on, something that's pretty solid, pretty good. And that has to be the start, really, to make it. And then we need to look to be more sustainable. And as I said, long term, we should be looking to populate Mars, because this planet will only occupy so many people before it is too overpopulated. And we're already well on the way to that, I think. Guys, there's a poignant message tonight, pertinent, shall we say. It's required. I don't want you to think, oh, I'm a doom and gloom artist, not at all. I'm just making a comment and my opinion as to how things are getting a little out of hand. It's a mess, but it can be fixed. We need to hope that we can fix it sooner rather than later. Food for thought anyway. Guys, third video of the week. Thank you all ever so much for listening. I really appreciate it. Time and energy spent here on my channel. Thank you kindly. Third of 3 videos this week. Put down in the comment section below, do you agree on the cost of living? How is it in your country? Have you noticed a big shift in the amount that you're paying for groceries, fuel, all that sort of thing? What is your ideas of how we can move forward? We need to do something, definitely. Remember to hit that subscribe button down below. Leave me a thumbs up and a like. And let's hear that bell sign go ding dong so you know when my next content's out. Until then, I want to say thank you all ever so much for listening as always. And back again with my next set of videos next week. Until then, take care of yourselves and bye for now.